How could you do this to us? It's not what it looks like. I can't believe you'd betray us like this.
She was standing at my door at midnight, wearing his engagement ring, mascara running down her face, shaking, and she said the words that made my blood stop. Mr. Harrison, I'm marrying your son in 3 weeks, but I can't go through with it. And you're the only person who can help me. Listen, if you've ever discovered someone you love was hiding a dark side, if you've ever had to choose between loyalty and truth, you need to hear this. Drop a comment right now. Would you believe your son's fiancé over your own son? Because I had to make that choice. And it destroyed everything I thought I knew. And before we go ANY further, smash that like button. Because what I'm about to tell you, platforms don't want you hearing this. They'll bury stories like mine. So, if you want the truth, you need to fight the algorithm with me. Hichi that like hit subscribe. Because this gets darker than you think. I stared at her, Sophia, son Jacques fiancée. 25 years old, beautiful, successful, perfect on paper. The woman I thought would give me grandchildren someday. What are you talking about? I asked, my voice barely steady. He's not who you think he is, she said, voice shaking so hard I could barely understand her. And if I don't marry him, he's going to destroy me. But if I do marry him, I think he might actually hurt me, physically. Comment red flag if you've ever ignored warning signs about someone because you didn't want to believe the truth. Because I ignored them for months, and I almost got someone killed. Before I tell you what happened next, you need to understand something. I thought I was a good father. I thought I'd raised a good man. I was wrong about both. And if you've ever discovered your own kid was a monster, if you've ever had to choose between protecting your child and protecting the truth, if you've ever been asked to save someone from the person you raised, stay with me. Because this story will change how you see everyone in your life. Drop a comment. Would you sacrifice your relationship with your child to save a stranger? Because that's exactly what I did. And 3 months later, I still don't know if I made the right choice. Part 1. The perfect son. My name is David. I'm 54 years old. And until 3 weeks ago, I thought I'd raised a good man. My son Jake is 28. Graduated top of his class. MBA from a top school. Works in finance. 6-figure salary. Drives a Tesla. Lives in a downtown loft with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. On paper, he's everything a father could want. Everything society tells you success looks like. But here's what they don't tell you about raising a successful child. Sometimes success is just a mask. And underneath, that mask is something you never wanted to create. His mother, my ex-wife Catherine, left when Jake was 12. She said I was too soft on him, that I let him get away with too much, that he needed discipline, not friendship, that I was creating a monster by being his friend instead of his father. I didn't listen. I thought she was bitter, angry, taking out her frustration on our parenting style because our marriage was falling apart. If you've ever been divorced, if you've ever been called too soft for showing your kids love, comment been there, because I need you to understand I wasn't trying to spoil him. I was trying to give him what I never had. A father who was present, who listened, who didn't use his belt to teach lessons. After Catherine left, I raised Jake myself, single dad. Worked from home so I could be there for him. Went to every game, every recital, every parent-teacher conference. And I tried to be the dad I never had. Supportive, present, understanding. I never raised my voice. Never lifted a hand. Never made him feel small. Jake thrived. Or at least, I thought he did. Got into a great college. Built a career in finance. Started making real money by 25. Bought that Tesla, that loft. Started wearing expensive suits and talking about portfolios and market corrections. I was so damn proud. And then he started dating Sophia 2 years ago. She was 23 then. Marketing executive at a tech startup. Smart, kind, beautiful. In that effortless way where she didn't seem to know how attractive she was. When Jake brought her to meet me the first time, I remember thinking he found someone good. Someone who balanced him out. She laughed at my jokes, asked questions about my work, helped clean up after dinner without being asked. She was the kind of woman you want your son to marry. When Jake proposed 6 months ago, I cried. Actually cried, because I thought I'd done it. I thought I'd raised a man who could love someone well, who could be a good husband, who would break the cycle of broken marriages that ran through our family. I was wrong. And if you're a parent watching this, comment heartbreak if you've ever realized your kid turned out differently than you hoped, because that realization, it doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in, slow, until one day you can't deny it anymore. Part 2, the cracks the first crack appeared for months ago. Family dinner at my place. Jake and Sophia were there. I was making my famous pasta carbonara, the one Jake used to beg me to make when he was a kid. Sophia was telling a story about work. Something funny about a client meeting that went wrong. She was animated, using her hands, laughing. Everyone was engaged. Jake cut her off mid-sentence. "Nobody cares. Soft," he said, laughing like it was a joke. "You always drag stories out. Get to the point." The room went silent for a second, just a second, but he felt it. Sophia went quiet, smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. That smile you give when you're hurt but you don't want to make a scene. That smile that says I'll deal with this later. I should have said something, right there. But I didn't. I told myself it was just a bad joke. Couples tease each other, right? They have their dynamic, their inside jokes. Maybe she does drag stories out and he was just being honest. But then I started noticing more. Drop a noticed in the comments if you've ever seen something wrong but convinced yourself it was nothing, because that's what I did. 4 months. The way Jake would check her phone when she wasn't looking, casual, quick, like he was just glancing at the time. But his eyes would scan her notifications, her messages, the way he'd criticize what she wore, never mean. Always framed as helpful. "You're wearing that," he'd say, eyebrow raised. "I mean, it's fine. Just thought you'd wear something more." Flattering, and Sophia would change. Every time. She'd go back to the bedroom and come out in something different. Something he approved of. The way he'd correct her in front of people. Small things, big things. "Actually, that's not how it happened. You're misremembering. That's not what I said." Until Sophia started second-guessing herself. Started looking at him before answering questions. Started qualifying every statement with "I think" or "I might be wrong," but I told myself it was normal. Couples have dynamics, power balances. Maybe Sophia was insecure. Maybe she needed someone to guide her. Maybe Jake was just being a strong partner. But deep down, I knew, because I'd seen it before, with Catherine, with my ex-wife. The way she'd belittle me, slowly, subtly, until I didn't recognize myself anymore. The way she'd frame insults as concern. "I'm just trying to help you be better." The way she'd make me feel like I was crazy for being hurt. "You're too sensitive. It was just a joke. Why do you always take things the wrong way?" And now here was my son, doing the same thing to someone else. Comment cycle if you've ever seen your parents' mistakes repeated in your own life or your kids' lives. Because that's the thing about trauma, about toxic behavior. It doesn't end with one generation. It infects the next, and the next, until someone has the guts to stop it. I pushed the thought away. Jake wasn't Catherine. He could be was my son, Emily. I broke the cycle, right? But there was this moment. This one moment that I can't get out of my head. We were at a restaurant. Jake, Sophia, and me celebrating Jake's promotion. Big raise. Corner office. The works. Sophia ordered wine. Red wine. She took a sip and made a face. I don't think this is right, she said to the waiter. It tastes off. Jake cut in before the waiter could respond. It's fine. She doesn't know wine. We'll keep it. Jake, I really think Sophia. His voice was calm, steady, but there was something underneath it. Something cold. It's fine. She went quiet. Drank the wine she didn't like. Smiled through dinner. And I sat there saying nothing. If you've ever stayed quiet when you should have spoken up, comment regret. Because I have a lot of that now. After dinner, Jake went to the bathroom. It was just me and Sophia at the table. You okay? I asked. She looked at me. Really looked at me. And for a second, I thought she was going to say something real, but then she smiled. That same smile that didn't reach her eyes. I'm great, she said. Really happy? Jake came back. Put his hand on her shoulder. Squeezed. Ready to go, babe? Yeah, she said quietly. Ready. They left. I paid the bill. Went home. Couldn't sleep. Because I knew, deep down, I knew something was wrong. But I didn't want to believe my son was the problem, so I did what most people do. I ignored it, convinced myself I was overthinking, that everything was fine until the midnight knock. Part 3. The midnight knock 3 weeks ago. I was asleep, deep sleep. The kind where you're dreaming and you can't tell what's real. Then pounding, loud, disperazione, my for. I jerked awake, grabbed my phone. 11:47 p.m. My first thought, someone's hurt. Someone's dead. It's Jake. I pulled up my Ring camera app. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the phone. It was Sophia. No coat, just a thin sweater, hair a mess. Mascara streaked down her face, shaking so hard I could see it on the camera. I ran downstairs. Threw open the door. Sophia. What happened? Where's Jake? Are you hurt? He doesn't know I'm here, she said. Her voice was raw, like she'd been crying for hours. Please, I need to talk to you. Just you, please. Comment chills if you're feeling this right now. Because I was terrified, not of her, but of what she was about to tell me. I let her in, locked the door, led her to the kitchen, made her tea with shaking hands. She sat at my table, staring at nothing, crying silently. I waited, didn't push, just waited. Finally, she looked up at me. I can't marry him, she said. What? Why? Did something happen tonight? David. She never called me David. Always Mr. Harrison. He's not who you think he is. And I'm scared of what he'll do if I leave. My stomach dropped. My mouth went dry. Did he hit you? Please, please say to my son. Shit. He's smarter than that. He doesn't have to. She pulled out her phone. Her hands were shaking so bad she almost dropped it. She scrolled, found what she was looking for, turned the screen to me. Read these, she whispered. I took the phone. Started reading. Jake, where are you? Sophia, at Sarah's. Girls' night. Remember? Jake, send me a pic. Sophia, photo of her at a bar with friends. Laughing, holding a cocktail. Jake, who's the guy in the background? Sophia, what guy? Jake, don't play dumb. The one by the bar, looking at you. Sophia, I don't know, random person. Jake, I'm just here with the girls. Jake, don't lie to me. Sophia, I'm not lying. Jake, come home. Now. Sophia, Jake, I just got here. It's only 9:30. Jake, I said come home. Sophia, Can we talk about this tomorrow? Jake, you have 20 minutes, or I'm coming to get you myself. And you won't like how that conversation goes. I felt sick, literally nauseous. But I kept reading. She scrolled to another thread from 2 weeks ago. Jake, you
Sophia,
embarrassed me tonight.
how?
What did I do? Jake, talking about your big promotion like you're hot shit. My colleagues were there. You made me look like I'm not successful enough. Sophia, Jake, I'm sorry. I was just excited. I didn't mean, Jake, be excited at home, not in public. Do you know how it makes me look when my girlfriend acts like she's more successful than me? Sophia, you make more money than me. You have a better title. I wasn't trying to. Jake, just stop talking. You always do this. Make everything about you. Sophia, I'm really sorry. Jake, you should be. My hands were shaking now. I wanted to stop reading, but I couldn't. She scrolled again. Last week. Sophia, Jake, I think we should talk about postponing the wedding. Just for a few months. I'm feeling overwhelmed and I think we should. Jake, are you fucking kidding me? Sophia, I'm not breaking up with you. I just think we're rushing and, Jake, we've been planning this for 6 months. Invitations are sent. Venue is booked. Deposits are paid. And now you want to postpone. Sophia, I just need time to. Jake, here's what's going to happen. You're going to marry me in 3 weeks. You're going to smile. You're going to say your vows. And you're going to be grateful that I still want you after this conversation. Sophia, Jake, please, Jake. And if you ever try to leave me, I'll make sure no one believes you. I'll tell everyone you're unstable. That you lied. I'll ruin your career, your reputation, your friendships, everything, and they'll believe me because I'm good at this. Because everyone loves me, including my dad. Jake, you'll have nothing. No job, no friends, no credibility. Just a crazy ex-girlfriend story that follows you forever. Jake, so smile, Sophia. Practice that smile. Because you're going to need it. I couldn't breathe. I read that last message 3 times. 4 times. Including my dad. He knew. He knew I would take his side. He was counting in the comments. If you've ever realized someone you love weaponized your loyalty. Because that's what this was. I looked up at Sophia. She was crying again. Silent tears. When did he send this? My voice didn't sound like mine. Last week, she said. After I told him I wanted to postpone the wedding. Why didn't you show anyone? Who would believe me? She laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. David, look at him. Everyone loves him. His friends think he's the perfect guy. His co-workers think he's ambitious and driven. You think he's a good son? She wiped her eyes. Smeared mascara across her cheek. He's perfect in public. Charming. Funny. Generous. He tips well. He holds doors. He remembers people's names. And when I try to tell people what he's like in private, they look at me like I'm crazy. I believe you, I said. She stared at me. You do. I do. And I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner. Mr. Harrison, she said quietly. I need you to help me leave him. Because if I do it alone, he's going to destroy me. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to survive it. Part 4. The Sleepless Night. Sophia left around 2 a.m. I told her to go back to the hotel she'd checked into. That I'd call her in the morning. That we'd figure this out together. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Just sat in my living room staring at the wall. My son. My boy. The kid I raised. The kid I sacrificed everything for. The kid I thought I'd taught to be good. Too kind. To respect people. That kid was a predator. Comment broken if you've ever had your entire reality shattered in one night. Because that's what happened to me. I kept thinking about Catherine, my ex-wife. The things she said when she left. You're too soft on him. He needs discipline. He's learning he can manipulate you, that he can cry and you'll give in, that he can lie and you'll believe him. You're creating a monster, David, and one day you'll see it. I thought she was being cruel, vindictive, using our son to hurt me. But what if she was right? What if every time I chose understanding over consequences, I taught Jake that he could get away with anything? What if every time I took his side, I taught him that his version of reality was the only one that mattered? What if I created this? Here's what they don't tell you about parenting. You can do everything right and still raise someone broken. Or you can do everything wrong and somehow they turn out fine. There's no formula, no guarantee. But when you realize you failed, when you realize the person you created is hurting people, that's a special kind of hell. I thought about every girlfriend Jake had before Sophia, 3 serious ones. All broke up with him. All told me the same thing when it ended. He's great, but it just wasn't working. But what if it wasn't just not working? What if they left for the same reason Sophia wanted to leave? What if they just didn't tell me because they knew I wouldn't believe them? What if I'd been ignoring red flags for years? Comment blind if you've ever realized you missed obvious warning signs because you didn't want to see them. By 5 a.m., I knew what I had to do. I had to confront him, had to hear his side, had to give him a chance to explain. Because maybe there was an explanation. Maybe Sophia was exaggerating. Maybe those texts looked worse than they were. Maybe I was being manipulated. But deep down I knew the truth. And sometimes the person you love most is the villain in someone else's story. And if you're lucky enough to find out before it's too late, you have a choice. Protect your blood or protect the truth. I called Jake at 7 a.m., part 5. The confrontation, the phone rang 3 times. He answered on the 4th. Dad. His voice was groggy, confused. It's 7 a.m. What's wrong? We need to talk, I said. My voice was steady, cold. I didn't recognize it. About Sophia. Pause. Just for a second, but I heard it. That moment of calculation. Of figuring out what I knew. What about her? She came to see me last night. Longer pause. I could hear him breathing, thinking, what did she say? She said she's scared of you. Silence. Then he laughed. Actually laughed. That same easy laugh he uses at parties. The one that makes everyone like him. Dad, come on. Sophia's dramatic. She gets emotional. You know how women are. My jaw clenched. Jake, she's just stressed about the wedding, he said smoothly, professional, like he was handling a client. Wedding planning makes women crazy. She does this sometimes. Gets in her head. Spirals. I have to talk her down. It's exhausting, honestly. She showed me texts. The line went quiet. Completely quiet. Texts. His voice shifted. Harder now. Colder. What texts? The ones where you threaten her. I never threatened her, he said. Each word precise. Measured. If she's twisting things I said out of context, that's on her. That's what she does. She takes normal conversations and makes them sound sinister. Jake, I read them. You told her you'd destroy her if she left. That was a joke. He sighed flatly. We joke like that. It's our dynamic, our relationship. You wouldn't understand. It didn't sound like a joke. Because you're not in our relationship, Dad. You don't see the full context. You don't know how she pushes my buttons. How she says things that make me react. And then she screenshots my reactions and plays the victim. Comment gaslighting if you recognize these tactics. Because this is textbook manipulation. Jake, I said slowly. I read the messages. Multiple conversations. This isn't out of context. This is a pattern. A pattern. He laughed again. Bitter now. You've been talking to her for what? A few hours. And suddenly you're an expert on my relationship. I'm your father. Exactly. He snapped. You're my father, not hers. And you're going to take her side over mine. I'm not taking sides, you are, he said. His voice was rising now. That calm, veneer cracking. You're listening to some girl I've been dating for 2 years, instead of your own son. Your own blood. She's your fiancé, Jake, and she's terrified. Then maybe she shouldn't be marrying me, he said coldly. If she's so terrified, she should leave. But she won't. You know why? Because she needs me. Because without me, she's nothing, and she knows it. The words hit me like ice water. Because that's not love. That's ownership. Jake, listen to yourself. No, you listen, he said. I'm done with this conversation. Sophia is being dramatic. She calmed down. We'll work it out. And you can either support your son or you can side with her. But if you choose her, don't expect me to forgive it. Jake, the line went dead. He hung up on me. I sat there staring at my phone. And for the first time in my life, I didn't recognize my son. Comment, stranger, if you've ever looked at someone you raised and realized you don't know them at all. Part 6. The visit that afternoon, around 3 p.m., my doorbell rang. I checked the camera. It was Jake, standing on my porch in his work suit, looking calm, collected, put together. I opened the door. We need to talk, he said. I stepped aside. Let him in. He walked into my living room like he owned it. Sat on my couch. Looked at me. Sophia called me. He said. Said you told me what she said. I did. And you believe her. Not a question. Accusation. I saw the texts. Jake. So you believe her, he repeated slowly. Over me. I believe what I saw, he nodded. Slowly. Like he was processing. Then he leaned back. Crossed his legs. That same posture he uses in business meetings when he's about to close a deal. You know what, Dad? His voice was calm. To calm. I spent my whole life trying to make you proud. Jake, no. Let me finish. He held up a hand. I worked my ass off. Got perfect grades. Got into a top school. Built a career. Made money. Bought a house. Found a woman I wanted to marry. Did everything right. Everything you wanted. He leaned forward. And the second she cries to you, the second she plays the victim, you turn on me. That's not what's happening. That's exactly what's happening, he said. His voice was rising now. You're choosing her over me. A woman you barely know over your own son. I'm not choosing anyone. I'm trying to understand. Mom was right about you, he said quietly. The room went cold. What? Mom was right, he repeated. She said you were weak. That you'd always choose feelings over logic. That you couldn't handle the truth. That's why she left. Because you're soft. Each word was designed to hurt, and it worked. Get out, I said quietly. Gladly, he said, standing up. And when Sophia comes crawling back to me because she will, because she needs me, don't expect an invitation to the wedding. He walked to the door, stopped, turned back. You just lost your son, Dad. Hope she was worth it. He left. Slammed the door hard enough to rattle the windows. And I stood there in my living room, shaking, wondering if I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life. Comment worth IT if you think I made the right choice. Comment mistake if you think I was wrong, because I still don't know. Part 7. The plan. I called Sophia that night, told her what happened. I'm sorry, she said. She was crying again. I'm so sorry I came between you and your son. I should have just left on my own. I shouldn't have involved you. Sophia, stop. This isn't your fault, but it is. You lost your son because of me. No, I said firmly. I lost my son because of who he chose to become. That's on him, not you. Silence on the line. Then, what do I do now, David? You leave him. You move out. You start over. He'll destroy me, she whispered. He meant every word of those texts. He has connections. He has friends in high places. He'll make sure I lose my job, my reputation. My life. Not if we expose him first. What? We document everything, I said. Every text. Every voicemail. Every email. Every interaction. We build a case. And we show people who he really is. David, no one will believe me. He's too good at playing the victim. At making me look crazy. They'll believe evidence. Cold, hard evidence. And they'll believe me. You. I'm his father, I said. If his own father says he's abusive, people will listen. Pause. You do that. I'm already doing it, I said. Tell me everything, from the beginning. Every red flag, every incident, every moment you felt scared. We're going to document all of it. Comment justice if you're rooting for us right now. Because what came next was war. Part 8. The evidence over the next week. Sophia and I built our case. She moved into a hotel. I helped her pack her stuff from Jake's loft while he was at work. We were in and out in 45 minutes. Took only what was hers. Left the ring on the kitchen counter. Then we started documenting. Texts, hundreds of them, going back months. All showing the same pattern. Control, manipulation, threats, voicemails. Him screaming at her for not answering fast enough. For talking to a male coworker. For posting a photo on Instagram he didn't approve. Emails. Him CCing her boss on messages, undermining her work, making her look incompetent. But we needed more than just their private conversations. We needed witnesses. Sophia reached out to her friends, the ones who'd seen Jake in action, asked them to write statements about what they'd witnessed. Her best friend Sarah wrote about the time Jake made. Sophia leave a birthday party early because a guy she went to college with was there. Her roommate from before she moved in with Jake wrote about the bruises she sometimes saw on Sophia's arms. Not from hitting, from grabbing. From Jake's hands holding too tight. Her coworker wrote about the time Jake showed up at their office unannounced, demanding to know why Sophia was working late. Piece by piece, we built a picture, not of one big incident, but of 1,000 small ones, death by 1,000 cuts. Drop a comment if you've ever had to prove abuse to people who didn't want to believe it, because that's the hardest part, the proof. But here's what I learned. Abusers are rarely original. They follow patterns, and if you look hard enough, you'll find the pattern repeated across multiple victims. So I did something Sophia didn't know about. I reached out to Jake's ex-girlfriends. All 3 of them. I found them on social media. Sent careful, respectful messages. I'm Jake's father. I need to ask you something about your relationship with him. I understand if you don't want to respond. 2 of them blocked me immediately. But one responded. Emily, his girlfriend from college. What do you want to know? She wrote. Did he ever make you feel unsafe? I asked. Her response came fast. Yes. Would you be willing to talk to me? Why? Because he's doing it again. To someone else. And I'm trying to stop it. She called me an hour later. We talked for 2 hours. Emily's story was almost identical to Sophia's. The checking her phone. The controlling what she wore. The threats. The isolation from friends. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. When you 2 broke up, you said it just wasn't working. Mr. Harrison, she said quietly, you loved him. You were so proud of him. How could I tell you he was a monster? You wouldn't have believed me anyway. She was right. I wouldn't have. Will you write a statement? I asked. About what he did. Long pause. If it helps someone else. Yes. Emily sent me a 5-page document detailing her relationship with Jake. The escalation of control, the threats, the fear. And then she gave me something else. After we broke up, she said, Jake hacked into my email, changed my password. Read all my messages. I couldn't prove it was him, but I know it was. He knew things he shouldn't have known. Be careful. He's good with technology. Comment careful if you're worried about where this going you should be. Part 9. The weapon with Emily's testimony. We had something powerful. Multiple women. Multiple stories. Same pattern of behavior. But we needed to be smart about how we used it. We can't just blast this on social media. I told Sophia. That'll make you look vindictive. And Jake will sue you for defamation. So what do? We go through proper channels. His employer. His professional network. The people who matter. We drafted a careful document. Facts only. No emotions. Just, here are the texts. Here are the statements. Here is the pattern. And then we sent it to HR at Jake's company with a subject line, pattern of behavior, hostile work environment concern. We didn't accuse him of anything criminal. We just presented evidence that Jake had a pattern of controlling and threatening behavior toward women in his life. And we suggested the company might want to investigate whether this behavior extended to his workplace. 2 days later, Sophia got a call from a woman named Jennifer. She worked in Jake's office. Junior analyst. I saw the complaint. Jennifer saw it. I need to tell you something. She'd been dealing with Jake's harassment for months. Nothing physical. But constant, inappropriate comments, too long hugs, messages after hours, pressure to go to dinner with him. She hadn't reported it because Jake was popular, well-liked, and she was new. Who would believe her? But now that someone else had come forward, she felt safe to speak up. Then another woman came forward. Another. By the end of the week, 5 women from Jake's office had filed complaints against him. Comment karma if you're feeling this. Because sometimes the truth has been waiting for the right moment to come out. Part 10. The investigation. Jake's company launched an investigation. Formal, serious. The kind that ends careers. Jake called me. I didn't answer. He texted. Dad, they're investigating me. At work. Someone filed a complaint. This is insane. I need you to vouch for me. Tell them I'm not who they're saying I am. I didn't respond. He called again. 14 times in one day. Finally, I answered. Are you happy? He said. His voice was shaking. Is this what you wanted? To destroy me? I didn't destroy you, Jake. You destroyed yourself. You turned Sophia against me. You poisoned her mind. She was fine until you got involved. She showed me texts you sent. Jake, your words. Not mine. Taken out of context. Stop. I said. Stoppy. I've heard this before. From your mother. The gaslighting. The blame shifting. The refusal to take responsibility. I didn't see it then. I see it now. So you're comparing me to Mom? The woman who abandoned us. I'm comparing you to an abuser, I said. Because that's what you are. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. You're going to regret this, he said quietly. When you're old and alone and you realize you chose wrong, you're going to regret this. Maybe, I said. But I'll regret staying silent more. I hung up. Comment strong if you think I did the right thing. Comment cold if you think I was too harsh. Because honestly, I still don't know. The investigation took 2 weeks. They interviewed everyone, reviewed emails, checked security footage of Jake's interactions with female colleagues. The evidence was damning. Jake was fired on a Tuesday. Immediate termination for violation of company conduct policies and creation of a hostile work environment. He lost his 6-figure salary, his corner office, his reputation in the finance world, and he blamed me for all of it. Part 11. The family fracture Catherine called me the day after Jake was fired. What did you do? Her voice was ice. I told the truth. You destroyed your own son's career. Over some girl. Over 5 girls. I corrected. 5 women who came forward with the same story. 5 women he harassed, controlled, and threatened. He's your son, she hissed. Your job is to protect him, not throw him to the wolves. My job, I said slowly, is to raise a good man. I failed at that. But I won't fail at holding him accountable. You're weak, she said, just like I always said. You can't handle being the bad guy. So you turned our son into one instead. No, Catherine, we turned him into one. You with your cruelty. Me with my cowardice. We both failed him. Don't you dare. He learned manipulation from you, I said. And he learned that love means never holding people accountable from me. We both created this. But I'm the only one trying to fix it. She was quiet for a moment. Then, he'll never forgive you. I know, I said. But maybe someday he'll understand. Don't hold your breath, she said. And Rapa, drop a both in the comments if you think both parents can be responsible for how a kid turns out. Because it's never just one person's fault. Jake's friends started calling. Some angry, some confused. All asking the same question. How could you do this to your own son? I told them the same thing. Ask him what he did. Ask the women he hurt. Then ask me again. Most of them stopped calling after that, but some of them listened. Some of them reached out to Sophia, apologized, said they'd seen signs, but hadn't wanted to believe it. One of Jake's best friends, Marcus, called me a week later. I need to tell you something, he said. What? Jake tried to get us to gang up on Sophia, told us she was crazy, that she was lying, that she was trying to ruin his life. He wanted us to post stuff on social media, discredit her. Did you? No, Marcus said. Because I remembered his last girlfriend, and the one before that, and I realized. They all left him the same way. Suddenly, scared, refusing to talk about it. Why didn't you say something? Because he's my friend, Marcus said quietly. Or, he was. I don't know who he is anymore. Comment complicit if you think Jake's friends share some blame for staying silent, because silence is a choice. Part 12. Sophia's recovery. Sophia moved into a new apartment. Small, 1 bedroom. But it was hers. No one controlled when she came and went. No one checked her phone. No one told her what to wear. She started therapy twice a week, working through years of manipulation and control. It's weird. She told me over coffee one day, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. For someone to tell me I'm doing something wrong, that I'm too loud. Too much to something. That's the abuse talking, I said. It takes time to unlearn. How long? I don't know, I admitted. I'm still unlearning things from my marriage to Catherine. She smiled. Sadbateo. We're a mess, aren't we? Yeah, I said. But we're honest messes. That's worth something. She got a new job. Better company, better pay, better culture. They didn't know about Jake. Didn't know about any of it. Fresh start. And slowly, I watched her come back to life. The Sophia I met 2 years ago was confident, outgoing, quick to laugh. Over the course of her relationship with Jake, that person had disappeared. Replaced by someone small, careful, always looking over her shoulder. But now, she was laughing again, making jokes, expressing opinions without qualifying them. I forgot what it was like, she said one day, to just exist, without having to justify every choice, every feeling, every thought. Drop freedom if you've ever escaped something that was suffocating you. Because that's what abuse is. Suffocation disguised as love. But recovery isn't linear. Some days Sophia would call me crying. What if he was right? What if I am too sensitive, too dramatic? What if I ruined a good thing because I couldn't handle normal relationship conflict? Sophia, I'd say, normal couples don't threaten to destroy each other. Normal partners don't track each other's every move. Normal love doesn't feel like walking on eggshells. But he wasn't always bad, she'd say. Sometimes he was sweet, thoughtful. He'd bring me flowers, plan surprises, say he loved me. That's how it works, I said. The good moments keep you hooked. They make you think the bad moments are your fault. That if you just try harder, be better, the good version will stay. Did Catherine do that to you? I paused. Yes. How did you leave? I didn't. I admitted. She left me, and I spent years thinking I'd failed. That if I'd just been stronger, more successful, more something, she would have stayed. Do you still think that? No, I said. Now I realize she did me a favor. She freed me. I just wish I'd freed myself first. Comment relate if you've ever stayed in something toxic because the good moments made you forget the bad ones. Part 13 Jake's Descent. I didn't hear from Jake for a month after he was fired. Then I started seeing posts on social media, in community groups. He'd moved back to our hometown, living with Catherine now. No job, no prospects. Spending his days posting on Reddit and Twitter about false accusations and cancel culture. He started a blog. The truth about false accusations. My story. In it, he painted himself as a victim. A good man destroyed by a vindictive ex-girlfriend and a father who betrayed him. He named Sophia, posted her picture, her workplace. She called me terrified. He's doxing me. People are sending me threats, calling me a liar, a whore, telling me I deserve to die. Save everything, I said. Screenshot it all. We're getting a restraining order. Will that stop him? I don't know. I admitted. But it's a start. We filed for a restraining order. Judge granted it Jake Hutt to stay 500 feet away from Sophia. No contact. No posting about her online. He violated it 3 days later. Posted another blog post calling her a manipulative psycho who destroyed an innocent man's life. We reported it. Police did nothing. It's freedom of speech, they said. Unless he physically threatens her, our hands are tied. Comment broken if you've ever dealt with a system that protects abusers more than victims, because that's the reality. Jake's content started getting traction in certain online communities, men's rights forums, anti-feminist groups, places where angry men gather to blame women for their problems. He became a martyr, a cautionary tale. See what happens when you trust women. They'll ruin your life. And the sick part, people believed him, thousands of them. They didn't know the full story, didn't know about the texts, the threats, the pattern. They just saw a man who lost everything and a woman he blamed for it, and they took his side. This is what I was afraid of, Sophia said. He's turning the whole internet against me. The internet isn't real life, I said. The people who matter know the truth. But what if they don't? She said, what if enough people believe his lies that it becomes the truth? I didn't have an answer for that. Because in 2025, perception is reality. And Jake was very good at controlling perception. Part 14, the turning point 2 months after Jake was fired. I got a message on Facebook from a woman named Rachel. Profile picture, her with 2 kids. Are you David Harrison, Jake's father? Yes, I replied. Who's asking? My name is Rachel. I dated Jake 8 years ago, before Emily, before Sophia. I need to talk to you. We met at a coffee shop. She brought a folder, thick, full of papers. I saw your son's blog, she said. saw him playing the victim. And I couldn't stay quiet anymore. She opened the folder. Inside, hospital records, police reports, photos. Jake put me in the hospital. She said, dislocated my shoulder, bruised my ribs, gave me a concussion. I felt sick when 8 years ago we were dating. I tried to break up with him. He didn't take it well. Did you press charges? I tried, she said, but he convinced the police it was self-defense, that I attacked him first. And they believed because he's charming, educated, well-spoken, and I was just some girl with a history of depression. She pulled out more papers, medical records showing a pattern of injuries, therapist notes documenting abuse. Why are you showing me this now? Because I saw what he's doing to Sophia, she said. And I can't let him win again. I can't let him rewrite history and play the victim when I know what he really is. Will you testify? Make a statement? I'll do more than that, she said. I'll go public. Comment brave if you know how hard it is to come forward about abuse, especially years later. Rachel wrote an article, published it on Medium, detailed her relationship with Jake, the abuse, the hospital visit, the police report. She included photos, documents, proof, and she ended with, Jake Harrison is now claiming he's a victim of false accusations. I'm here to tell you, he's not. He's dangerous. And he's using your sympathy to hide his violence. The article went viral. 50,000 views in 24 hours. Then 100,000. Then more. Other women started coming forward. Women Jake had dated in high school. In college. Women I'd never heard of. 8 women total. 8 different stories. Same pattern. Control. Manipulation. Escalation. Violence. My son wasn't just emotionally abusive. He was physically violent, and he'd been hiding it for over a decade. I sat in my kitchen reading these stories and felt my world collapse. Because I didn't raise a man with anger issues. I raised a predator, and I never saw it. Comment how, if you're wondering how I missed this. Because I ask myself that every single day. Part 15. The Reckoning. Jake's blog disappeared overnight. His social media accounts went private. He stopped posting, but the damage was done. His reputation was destroyed, not by false accusations, by the truth. Catherine called me. Are you happy now? Are you satisfied? Your son is destroyed. Completely destroyed. Our son destroyed himself. I said. No, she said. You did this. You chose to believe those women over him. 8 women, Catherine, 8. At what point do you stop defending him? He's my son. I'll defend him until I die, even if he's guilty. Especially then, she said. Because no one else will, and that's when I understood. Catherine wasn't defending Jake because she thought he was innocent. She was defending him because she knew he was guilty. And she blamed herself. Just like I did. Comment guilt if you understand this. Because parent guilt is its own special torture. 3 weeks ago, Jake showed up at my house. Unannounced. First time I'd seen him in person since our confrontation. He looked different, thinner, older, tired. I need money, he said. No hello, no apology. Just, I need money. For what? Rent. Food. I can't find a job. No one will hire me. My name is ruined. Jake, I'm your son, he said. You're supposed to help me. That's what fathers do. Fathers also teach accountability. I said. I failed you there. But I won't fail you again. So you're saying no. I'm saying you need to take responsibility for what you did. Get help. Go to therapy. Make amends. He laughed. Bitter. Broken. Make amends. To who? The women who lied about me? The company that fired me? You. To yourself. I said. Because right now, you're losing yourself in victimhood. And if you don't stop, you'll never get your life back. I don't have a life to get back, he said. You took it from me. No, Jake, you took it from yourself. The moment you decided hurting people was easier than loving them, he stared at me, and for just a second, I saw it. A flash of something, recognition, shame, pain, but then it was gone. I hope you're happy, he said. You got what you wanted. Your perfect moral victory, and all it cost you was your son. He left. And I haven't seen him since. Part 16. The question, so here's where we are. 3 months later, Jake is living with Catherine. No job, no prospects, blacklisted in his industry. Struggling with depression and rage, Sophia is rebuilding. New job, new apartment, new life. She still has nightmares. Still flinches when men raise their voices. But she's healing. Rachel and the other women who came forward are processing their trauma. Some are in therapy. Some are advocating for better domestic violence resources. All are trying to move forward. And me, I'm trying to figure out if I did the right thing. Because here's the truth. I didn't save Jake. I destroyed him. I took away his career, his reputation, his future. And I did it knowing exactly what would happen. Some people call me a hero. You protected vulnerable women. You stood up to your own son. You did the right thing. Others call me a traitor. You abandoned your child when he needed you most. You chose strangers over blood. You're a coward. And I don't know who's right. Comment hero if you think I did the right thing. Comment traitor if you think I was wrong. Because I need to know what you think. Here's what keeps me up at night. What if I'd handled this differently? What if I'd tried to get Jake help instead of exposing him? What if I'd worked with him privately instead of going public? Could I have saved him and protected those women? Or was he too far gone by the time Sophia knocked on my door? I think about Jake as a kid. Sweet, sensitive, clingy. He'd cry when I left for work. Make me promise I'd come back. Where did that kid go? Or was he always there, under the surface, learning to manipulate, learning that tears get results, learning that weakness is a weapon? I think about the moment Catherine left. Jake was 12. He cried for days. And I let him sleep in my bed, let him stay home from school. Gave him everything he wanted because I didn't want him to feel abandoned. Did I teach him that pain excuses bad behavior? Did I create this? Comment not your fault if you think I'm being too hard on myself. Comment partly if you think parents share responsibility, because I genuinely don't know. Part 7, Tiagay Aftermath 6 months. Later I'm updating this because some of you asked what happened next. It's been 6 months since I last saw Jake. He's still living with Catherine. Still unemployed. He's too angry. But something changed last month. He started therapy. Not because he wanted to. Because Catherine gave him an ultimatum, get help or get out. I don't know if it's working. I don't know if he's actually engaging or just going through the motions. But it's something. Sophia is thriving now. She got promoted at her new job. Started dating someone new, someone kind, someone who respects her. She stops by my house sometimes, brings coffee, updates me on her life. You know what's weird? She said last week, I don't think about him anymore. For months, he was all I thought about, every minute, every hour, and now, days go by and I don't even remember he exists. That's healing, I said. It feels like forgetting, she said. Like if I stop thinking about it, it means it wasn't real. That I'm letting him off the hook. No, I said. Moving on isn't letting him off the hook. It's freeing yourself from the hook he put you on. She smiled. When did you get so wise? When I stopped lying to myself, I said. Comment healing if you've ever had to choose between remembering trauma and moving forward. Because it's not an easy choice. 3 weeks ago, I got a letter, handwritten, from Jake. I almost didn't open it. Part of me wanted to burn it. Pretend it never came, but I opened it. It wasn't an apology. Not exactly. But it was something. He wrote, I don't know if you'll even read this, but I need to say it anyway. I'm angry at you. I'll probably always be angry at you. But I'm starting to understand why you did what you did. My therapist says I have something called narcissistic personality disorder. I don't know if I believe that. But I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand me. I don't know if I'll ever forgive you, but I'm trying to forgive myself. That seems harder. No signature. Just those words. I read it 10 times. Trying to find hope in it. Trying to find my son. I don't know if I did, but it's more than I had before. Part 8ing the real question, so let me ask you, the question that's been haunting me for 6 months. If someone you love is hurting people, what do you do? Do you protect them? Shield them? Cover for them? Because they're your blood and blood is supposed to be thicker than water. Or do you expose them? Hold them accountable, even if it destroys them. There's no easy answer. I know that now, because choosing Sophia over Jake didn't just hurt Jake. It hurt me. It hurt our family. It hurt everyone connected to us. But not choosing Sophia would have hurt her, and Rachel, and Emily, and all the women who came after. So what's the right choice? Comment protect if you think I should have protected Jake. Comment expose if you think I did the right thing. Comment both if you think there was a third option I didn't see. Because here's what I learned. Sometimes there are no good choices. Sometimes every option leads to pain. And all you can do is choose which pain you can live with. I chose the pain of losing my son over the pain of enabling his abuse. Some days I think I made the right choice. Other days I'm not so sure. Part 19, the message to other parents. If you're a parent watching this, I need you to hear this. Your kid can be the villain in someone else's story. I know you don't want to believe it. I didn't either, but it's possible. And pretending it's not possible is how we end up here. So watch for the signs. Does your child lack empathy? Do they hurt animals? Bully other kids? Manipulate you? Do they accept responsibility or blame everyone else? Do they apologize sincerely or just say sorry to get out of trouble? Do they respect boundaries or push until they get what they want? These things matter. These things predict who they'll become. Comment signs if you've seen these red flags in your own kids or in kids you know. And if you see these signs, intervene. Get them help set boundaries. Hold them accountable. Because if you don't, someone else will have to. And by then, it might be too late. I wish I'd listened to Catherine. I wish I'd been less focused on being Jake's friend and more focused on being his father. I wish I'd taught him consequences instead of excuses. But I didn't. And now 8 women carry trauma because of him. And Jake carries the weight of what he's done. And I carry the weight of what I didn't do soon enough. Part 20. The final thought. It's been almost a year now since Sophia knocked on my door at midnight. I still don't talk to Jake. He doesn't call. Doesn't text. Doesn't visit. Catherine sends me updates sometimes. He's doing better. He's still in therapy. He got a job at a warehouse. I'm happy he's working. Happy he's getting help. But I don't reach out because I don't know what I'd say. I'm sorry I exposed you. No, I'm not sorry for that. I'm sorry I wasn't a better father. Maybe, but sorry doesn't fix anything, so I stay silent, and I live with my choice. Sophia graduated from therapy last month. Her therapist said she'd processed the trauma, that she was ready to move forward fully. She came to tell me in person. I wanted to thank you, she said, one last time, for believing me, for helping me, for choosing me when you didn't have to. You don't have to keep thanking me. I said. I know, she said. But I want you to know. You saved my life. Maybe even literally. And I'll never. She hugged me and then she left. And I realized. That's closure. That's what doing the right thing feels like. Not victory. Not vindication. Just peace. Knowing someone is safe because of you. Even if it cost you everything. Final CTA, so here's my question to you. If you were in my position, what would you have done? Would you have believed your son? Defended him? Protected him no matter what? Or would you have done what I did? Chosen truth over blood? Chosen just can't be honest? Because there's no right answer. There's only the answer you can live with. And if this story taught you anything, if it made you think differently about loyalty or family or abuse, share it. Because somewhere out there, someone is in Sophia's position, afraid, trapped, thinking no one will believe them. And somewhere out there, someone is in my position, seeing signs, ignoring them, hoping they're wrong. Maybe this story reaches them. Maybe it helps them choose differently. Maybe it saves someone. That's all I can hope for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for caring enough to hear this story all the way through. Drop your comments below. And remember, sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever do is admit the person you love is the villain in someone else's story. But sometimes that's exactly what needs to be done. I'm David, and this is my story. Take care of yourselves and each other.